Were you surprised by Paddy's game plan?
I didn't understand his game plan even. He wanted to box with Gaethje, but he couldn't wrestle him, he couldn't box him. He just a little bit young and he has a better chin, but he's a trash can.
Just curious, what did you think about Paddy's chin? Because a lot of people say Justin Gaethje is the hardest hitter they've ever faced.
Yeah, but Paddy got knocked out like 15, 20 times. Yeah, Justin was like 3-4 years ago, he was different. Now it's like he's getting old and it's last a couple fights he got.
I just felt like I did enough. I just felt like I did enough to get the job done. Paddy is getting the beat out of him right now, it looks like. Jesus, this might not end well.
I saw what happened, and I won't let it slide. It's not the first time Justin will do such cheap tricks with poking eyes like those. His fight against Paddy will be his last aim. UFC is only for the real fighters, not the cheater.
That Scouser does not get knocked out. Oh my God.
It was almost like he understood the assignment. We're on Paramount. There's a new network. There are going to be new fans. We need to introduce them to what the UFC is. I think after watching that, everybody that was tuned in are going to be lifelong fans of the UFC. Because on the special nights, there is not a sport in the world that can compare to the UFC. And tonight we have one of those special nights.
Paddy's heart, the grit of this kid. I don't care that he lost the fight. He comes back and murders like most guys.
Yeah.
Like anyone that doesn't have the grit. Like obviously everyone, like myself and everybody else, is worried about how much a fight like this takes out of you. But he's super young.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I think he's young enough to bounce back from a fight like this and to turn it into a superpower moving forward. Because not many people survive Gaethje the way he does.
Yeah.
The way he did, or like have moments of greatness late in the fight after taking the hits that he took.
Now that the fight between Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje was finally sealed in the books, the noise exploded, because reality refused to sit quietly beside prediction. Some experts swore Paddy's chaos, pressure, and recklessness would drown everything instantly, while others bet on Justin's patience, timing, and cold striking discipline. That collision of beliefs twisted the aftermath into something sharper, louder, and somehow more brutal than the fight itself.
In the UFC, you were saying stuff like, well, his entrance is good and it's all well and good to get the fans, but he needs to be able to fight. Obviously, we've seen him have great wins before, but to show the durability he had in that fight tonight, do you feel like even though he lost, he will be considered one of the best in that division moving forward?
No doubt about it. I mean, he was the favorite tonight. I think that's what fucked him. Every other one, he's the underdog and everybody thinks he's going to lose. Tonight, he's the favorite. I don't think that his game plan was the greatest. Obviously, tonight he showed he is tough, he is durable, and almost impossible. I mean, especially against Gaethje. And you're eating those punches from him. You know, it's one thing to say, listen, I'm going to come out. I believe in, say, you know what? It's the third round. I got 2 rounds left. I might want to try to take him down and submit him.
Before the cage door ever closed, Tim Welsh twisted the entire matchup around Justin Gaethje's gift for early damage, explaining that the calf kicks were never just strikes, but slow poison, long-term investments that quietly rewired how opponents stood, moved, hesitated, and reacted under pressure. Each kick stole balance, each impact rewrote instincts, slowly setting a trap where Justin's hands grew sharper, heavier, and more dangerous the longer the fight dragged on.
Yes, congrats to Justin Gaethje. What an unbelievable performance. Paddy the Baddy, oh my God, he impressed the hell out of me. Incredible, he'll learn from that, but I tell you what, he's got what you can't teach. Heart, great determination, all that shit. Yeah, he can make tweaks. You can put the chin down, you can lift the hands up. What he showed tonight is that he is legit. The man is real, and that's for damn sure. He's at the hospital right now. He'll be fine. They're just checking him out. Gotta say though, well done, Justin Gaethje. He was the...
Tim Welsh also warned that the most dangerous moments for Paddy Pimblett were often created by his own offense, because every time Paddy surged forward with confidence, chaos, and aggression, his chin followed him straight into the fire. Each flurry carried risk, each burst of belief opened a door, and Tim believed those reckless seconds were where everything could snap. One perfectly timed counter from Justin Gaethje, launched in the middle of Paddy's momentum, could flip the fight instantly, turning confidence into consequence before anyone had time to breathe.
Grappling. He's very, very good at grappling.
and I felt that he deviated from the game plan, meaning that if I was in his corner, you're gonna move. One, he's got to keep his hands up here. I like the traditional look where you can move, you can elbow, you throw your right hand, right, left, high kick, push kick. You're just way more. This is standard. This is like the best option. But I still feel like he deviated from the game plan where I think he felt that he was gonna be able to knock out Justin Gaethje, and I just don't think Paddy Pimblett has that torque. Not saying he can't do it, I just don't think he has the torque to knock out a guy like Justin Gaethje, who's been in wars with guys like Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. Max Holloway's knocked him out. He's knocked out Dustin Poirier. He's been in wars with Eddie Alvarez. He's just been in a lot of wars on the feet. But when you look at some of the things that, Khabib did to Justin Gaethje, he made it look easy. He took him down, past his guard, mounted.
What made the breakdown so compelling was that Tim never framed it as a clean striker versus grappler story, because he stressed that time itself corrupts structure. Longer fights don't stay technical, they rot into chaos, dissolving into desperate scrambles where plans collapse and instincts take over. And history shows those moments tilt toward Paddy Pimblett, turning apparent danger on the feet into grinding, exhausting grappling storms that suffocate opponents, draining them mentally first, then physically, until resistance quietly fades.
Technical aspect to this entire game plan, okay? Gaethje was going to pressure fight him, walking down, guns blazing, turn it into a dogfight, and hopefully he outlasts Paddy, okay? This whole game plan is banking on the fact that he knows he can take more, he can deal more, and he can capitalize on it later in the fight. Okay, because and to be fair, he's got legs to walk with that because he's done it time and time again. And round 3, we saw him be like, "Okay, I'm gonna take this round off.
I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna stay at mid range. I'm not gonna walk you down and just let you come back a little bit. Try to build some energy." and everyone was worried. Like honestly, I saw like a glint of disinterest from Gaethje. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was weird. But then round 4 just puts his foot back on the pedal, maybe knowing he's got 2 rounds left. Bar fight Gaethje. It was Gaethje of old.
That was why Tim Welsh ultimately framed the fight as a razor-thin edge, a fragile balance where one clean shot could rewrite everything in a heartbeat, yet he still leaned slightly toward Paddy Pimblett overall. He believed that across enough chaotic exchanges, messy scrambles, and broken rhythms, Paddy simply found a way more often than not, even when every path to victory felt dangerous, uncomfortable, and violently uncertain.
That fucker's right. Scousers do not get knocked out. That Scouser does not get knocked out.
I'm a Scouser. We don't get knocked out. We don't get knocked out. I take that all day.
Oh my God. What a fucking gangster.
Obviously delivered in the main event. It's capped off with a war. Just give us your thoughts on Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett delivering a 5-round battle.
Yeah, I mean, what a couple. So Paddy Pimblett at the weigh-ins yesterday says, "I'm going to knock this motherfucker out tomorrow." And I was like, that's interesting. And he never abandoned that game plan. Even when, he got dropped a couple times, I kept waiting for him. I'm like, he's eventually going to have to shoot and try to submit him. Now, I didn't know Paddy Pimblett had a chin like that till tonight. And, absolute dogfight in a war, and much respect to both guys.
We haven't seen Justin yet, so we don't know what his status is physically. But, I mean, is the interim, is the unification fight have to be next? Or is there a case if he's hurt and needs to be out for a while?
Apparently he's 100%. So we sent Paddy Pimblett straight to the hospital, and then we're going to send Gaethje too. And Gaethje's like, believe me, I've been in plenty of wars. I'm good. So as far as we know right now, he's...
When Teddy Atlas weighed in, he deliberately twisted the lens away from raw violence and towards something colder, explaining that Justin Gaethje didn't need chaos, he needed control. He stressed intelligent boxing, constant lateral movement, and sharp angles, warning that standing directly in front of Paddy Pimblett was an invitation to disorder. At the same time, he acknowledged how much Paddy had evolved in recent years, making discipline not optional, but essential.
For the last few years, you saw him do it to Michael Chandler. He's taken on the highlight Justin Gaethje. 26 wins, 5 losses, 20 KOs. The dude fucking KOs people. Early on, he'd calf kick the fuck out of people. He'd calf kick people where they couldn't take it anymore. He had many TKOs from calf kicks alone. The guy is just a dense fucking ball of muscle, built for fighting, 37 years old now. He's crumpled people with his left hook. He's crumpled people with his right hand. Paddy Pimblett is going to have to be very careful throwing his flurries on Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje will sit down and rip a left hook, or sit down, drop his head, and launch a right hand. That's Justin Gaethje's ways to win. He could KO Paddy.
Teddy Atlas noted that Paddy Pimblett looked stronger, calmer, and more fully settled into who he was as a fighter, carrying himself with a confidence that hadn't always been there before. He pointed out clear improvements in Paddy's striking and comfort on the feet, but still issued a sharp warning, stressing that Paddy's eagerness to trade when it wasn't necessary could turn dangerous fast against someone as patient, punishing, and unforgiving as Justin Gaethje, where mistakes are collected, not forgiven.
I'd love to see fucking Justin Gaethje with the title around his waist. He earned it. Justin Gaethje's fought all these fucking monsters his whole goddamn career. Edson Barbosa, Donald Cerrone, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Habib, Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira, Fiziev twice, Dustin Poirier again, Max Holloway. Like, holy shit. He's fought the elite. So I'd love to see Justin Gaethje get it done. If I had to put, fuck, this is hard. If someone gave me $10,000 to bet with, and they said, hey, put it on who you think's going to win. God. I'm going to say 60-40. 60-40. 40% chance that Justin Gaethje knocks Paddy Pimblett out. Hits him on his chin. When Paddy Pimblett's flooring, hits him right on his hits him right on the scouser chin. Bunk. Gets dropped. 40% chance, I think. 60% chance this fight, Justin's not able to find him. It's a little bit, it's like a spastic, weird style. He's able to find his chin. If Paddy Pimblett puts him on his back, it's going to be a long night for Justin Gaethje.
Because youth and momentum have a habit of revealing themselves late, Teddy ultimately leaned slightly toward Paddy Pimblett, not out of doubt in Justin Gaethje's endurance or resolve, but because Paddy seemed to possess more space to adapt once chaos took over. He believed Paddy could make adjustments on the fly, slipping through disorder, even as every exchange remained dangerous, volatile, and one mistake away from disaster.
Younger, will youth be served? With Pimblett? Maybe. Gaethje, experience, good striker. He's well-rounded everywhere, but he's got to use the assets of a smaller guy. We've seen it, where you got to box, you got to use your legs, you got to set traps. You know, he's got the capability of doing that. Outmaneuver, outflank Pimblett. You know, Pimblett, let me tell you, he has improved a lot over the last 2 years. He really has, bud. He has gotten better. He's gotten more. You could see he's come into his own. Confidence-wise, physically, he's in great shape. They usually all are. But he's improved. His striking has improved. He's a good wrestler, grappler. But he loves to strike. That's what's going to make this fight really interesting and good. They're both going to strike. I mean, for the most part, they're both going to strike.
That's what was always going to make this fight genuinely compelling, even good in a dangerous way, because there was no escaping the truth that they were both going to strike, trade, and collide whether planned or not. Max Holloway stripped the matchup down to something brutally simple by focusing on durability, pointing out that if Paddy Pimblett could absorb Justin Gaethje's power without cracking or retreating, the entire fight could tilt in an instant. One clean connection, one hurt reaction, one desperate scramble, or one sudden positional shift could violently rewrite the story, turning stability into chaos and control into survival, all within a single breath.
I think youth might be served here, but I would go with the over on this because I think the over-under is like
2.5 rounds.
How many?
2.5 rounds over minus 115.
All right, listen, again, we have a pretty good record here, but, you know, I mess up once in a while. I do. That's why it's gambling. But I like the over. I mean, if Gaethje fights the perfect fight, you never know. You never know. But I know who the judges are probably favoring. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry. There shouldn't be anything about that. It should just be about what goes on in the cage or in the ring. But I can't help myself but think about things that I see. So maybe, Gaethje would really have to do a job, I think, to get it, which he could. But I think I'd probably favor Pimblett a little bit. But at the end of the day, if I had to put my bucks down.
At the same time, Max Holloway made it brutally clear that Justin Gaethje required only a single clean connection to shatter rhythm, confidence, and momentum, because every punch, every kick, carried real damage, leaving no margin for error. That meant prolonged striking exchanges became a relentless gamble, a high-stakes trap for anyone daring to stand across from him. Any rhythm, any pattern, any moment of comfort could be ripped apart in an instant, leaving chaos to claim control.
And with Paddy, because if he can eat it, I can see Paddy catching Gaethje and maybe almost like a Oliveira fight, catch Gaethje, hurt Gaethje wobble, and then get to Gaethje's back or something, maybe subble. You know what I mean? Like Paddy is very well rounded. He out wrestled wrestlers, he out grappled grapplers. He stands with you. He doesn't care. He throws. Everybody's be like his chin is in the air. He takes shots. Yeah, he takes shots and he still walk forward. How long will that last? We don't know. And that's the question I have to this fight. Or what his reaction is going to be when Justin Gaethje catches him. Because Justin Gaethje punched like a truck. He kicks like a...
Morrows framed the fight as a pure coin flip, a brutal no middle ground scenario, explaining that either Justin Gaethje would systematically break Paddy Pimblett with accumulated punishment, or Paddy would endure just long enough to pull the fight into his chaotic domain. That razor edge of uncertainty, the constant threat that everything could collapse or explode at any moment, was precisely what made the matchup so electrifying, unpredictable, and impossible to look away from.
For me, this is a flip up, bro. I'm not surprised if any of these guys win, because I can see two clear paths to these guys winning. I can see Gaethje catching Paddy, putting him down, finishing him. Then I can see Pimblett catching Paddy, Pimblett catching Gaethje, maybe knock him out or hurt him enough to where he can get a submission. I think so. Paramount, the UFC did a really great really great job of putting this first Paramount card together. From the main card, the first main card fight, to the main event is sick. It's gonna be action packed, and you fans are gonna love it. The new fans are gonna love it. I mean, Gaethje is just violence. Paddy Pimblett doesn't run away from violence. It's gonna be a fun fight. Like I said, I don't know who to choose. I'm not choosing no one. I see both guys. I think this is a coin flip. I think whoever can endure the more damage is gonna win this one.
From Demetrius Johnson's perspective, the fight's pulse depended on Paddy Pimblett remaining unpredictable, constantly steering the action toward grappling exchanges, because even someone as skilled as Justin Gaethje occasionally left tiny, exploitable gaps in his scrambles. It was in those fleeting, almost invisible moments that submissions lurked, waiting silently for timing, creativity, and instinct to collide, capable of turning control into catastrophe in an instant.
With that being said, let me get to the keys of victory for both these guys. When you look at Paddy Pimblett, keys of victory for Paddy Pimblett has got to be dynamic. We're starting to see Paddy Pimblett become more comfortable inside the octagon. So the key victory number one for Paddy Pimblett is be dynamic, meaning that if Justin Gaethje puts you against the cage, don't be scared to do a flying triangle. If Justin Gaethje tries to go for a dump, go for a Kimura, because 9 out of 10 times when he does that, he's able to turn it into something that favors him in the fight. Key victory number two, grapple. When you look at Justin Gaethje's past fight, when people grapple him that have a good grappling ability, he seems to have hard times with grapplers, where people, when people drop him, Charles Oliveira dropped him, he crossed the volley, jumped on him, got his back, submitted him with a rear naked choke. You look when he fought Habib took him down, passed his guard, mounted him, got a triangle from top and rolled to his back. Now I feel like Paddy Pimblett has that grappling ability that can oppose some problems to Justin Gaethje.
Demetrius Johnson also tackled the supposed gap in competition without undermining Paddy's abilities, explaining that once bodies lock on the mat, reputation evaporates, leaving only technique, balance, and timing to dictate outcomes. In those moments, name value and past victories mean nothing. Everything hinges on precision, adaptability, and the brutal reality that one small misstep can instantly turn advantage into disaster, no matter who steps onto the canvas.
Thought he got the better of. This was a great scrap. I have no idea how Paddy Pimblett did not get flatline KO'd on about 50 different occasions. If he lost, yes, he did lose. And if he lost any stock from this, the one saving grace is that he's been saying for a long time, we don't get knocked out, lad. And that would be the worst thing to happen to him. If he got KO'd in one of these fights badly, that would just be his ridicule forever. What happened to Scousers don't get knocked out, and it'd just be images of Paddy Pimblett out cold. I have no idea how he didn't get flatlined in this fight. Justin Gaethje was cracking him with so many overhand rights. And the worst part was, it's not even like you were understanding why he took the shot so well. Oh, he was rolling with that one. Oh, he tucked into that one a little bit. He saw it coming. I could see the shots coming. I was wincing while Gaethje was loading up because you could see Pimblett leaving exchanges with his chin up in the air and just getting his whole jaw span. And somehow he's still in the fight and throwing back. Absolutely crazy fight. Need to win, but I am going to bring up the fouls. Gaethje fought very fucking dirty in this fight. A lot of eye pokes. A groin shot as well. I think Paddy Pimblett had a groin shot that he landed too. But that was towards the end of the fight where it was just an absolute mess of a scrap between the two of them. But Gaethje landed some really, really bad eye pokes on him. But it doesn't matter, because the result is the result. Pimblett gets beaten over.
Because of freshness and meticulous preparation, Demetrius leaned toward Paddy Pimblett, convinced that a lighter schedule granted him superior recovery, sharper reflexes, and the edge to exploit fleeting opportunities. Volk mirrored that perspective, framing the fight as a test of growth rather than mere hype, cautiously favoring Paddy while making it clear that nothing about the night would be easy, and every moment remained a high-stakes gamble where one misstep could instantly unravel everything.
Justin Big Rufus Gaethje puts on a very destructive performance against Paddy Pimblett. Kind of sloppy, little bit of a street beefs masterclass, if that's the word that you want to use to describe these two. Just standing in the pocket, swinging, trading, falling all over each other. There was some goofy takedown attempts and scrambles. But what it came down to is, like I said in the prediction video, Paddy Pimblett at that long range was landing some nice calf kicks. His jab was working quite well against him. We knew that Justin Gaethje, when he defends, ducks down into strikes, and Paddy Pimblett was able to land some nice knees up the middle, some nice head kicks. There was a couple of fouls back and forth that we'll talk about in this fight as well, but mostly it came down to, at range, Paddy Pimblett could do well, and he was kind of trying to force maybe a bad exchange out of Justin Gaethje where he could get some grappling going, but really didn't go for the takedowns in this fight. He's not really a guy that will shoot a takedown and wrestle.
Expanding on his earlier analysis, Bedtime MMA framed the fight as a wild, chaotic collision between Gaethje and Pimblett, where unpredictability and raw energy could decide everything in flashes. On the other side, voices like Dan Hardy and Bal Muhammad leaned toward Justin Gaethje, highlighting his experience in defending common submissions, his strategy of wearing opponents down with precise striking instead of wrestling, and the fact that long stretches on the feet historically amplified his patience, power, and cold composure, making every exchange a calculated gamble that could tip the fight at any instant.